Welcome back, my little recusants, to another episode of Final Fantasy 13. Well, let's just kick it off right off the bat with fighting an Adamantoise. Much more difficult than the Adamantoise we fought before. If this thing stomps, we immediately game over. So we have to summon.
Come on, Hecaton!
Whenever you summon with any of the characters, the act of summoning breaks both the Adamantoise's legs and it falls over, leaving it at your mercy for about 40 seconds.
Let's go!
Now,
Hecaton!
with Vanille, we're going to be pulling the exact same trick we did with the Neo Jew. We're going to be using Death. Now, the problem is Death is a really small percentage chance, and unlike the Neo Jew, we can't kind of just keep dirtling in Sentinel until it works, because we don't have the HP to survive a stomp from this guy. So I spent many an few minutes, half an hours, just running this fight, trying to make it work. And what you're watching is the winning run, the time when it actually decided to work. And as you can see, we get this done in about 2 minutes or so, like it's not long. And here's me like dirtling in the menu. I'm like, oh my god, just select the ability. But what is handy is that, at least with all of the different saboteurs, we're going to be applying other debuffs, which again increases the likelihood little by little. We don't have haste. If we had auto haste shoes, this would be brilliant, but we don't. But thankfully, that's all we needed. And when it should have taken us 24 minutes, we beat it in 33. 80,000, 5 stars, and these enemies actually drop platinum ignits, which we've sold for loads. But they also drop the rare item Trapezohedrons, which we need to use in order to make our tier 3 weapons, which are basically the character's ultimate weapons. Depending on which one you use, you get a different ultimate weapon. But what is also interesting is that if we didn't actually attack and kill the Adamantoise, and we ran into this area, it basically follows after us in a big little cutscene and breaks the glass flooring here. 1, forever changing the map, and 2, forever losing these particular little treasure chests. So, an interesting little tidbit there. The only problem is, what ends up happening right now is that we end up in a fight where I have no good paradigms. So I'm like, okay, let's just retry this fight and just not get into a battle. That would be brilliant. But obviously, I don't do it here, but there's no reason why you couldn't hop in and repeat that little fight. Like, go fight the Adamantoise, run back, fight some of the other enemies nearby, save, reload the save, and the Adamantoise should respawn. And you can then just try and hunt for Trapezohedrons to get your ultimate weapons before the next chapter. You definitely could do that. I didn't, because I had spent so long trying to get one attempt to work that I was like, no, I'm just going to wait to the post-game and we'll just do it there. We're kind of just realistically blitzing through the story. I hope you guys don't mind, but realistically, all the post-game stuff, like the trophy collecting for beating all the Ceith stones, beating all the Ceith stones with 5 stars, completing the Crystarium for all characters, like that all has to wait to the post game anyway. But what is going to be super handy, guys, is that in the next few episodes we're going to be getting an amazing crystal point grinding spot, where we're going to be able to actually get tons of crystal points relatively quickly. Unfortunately, it is finite. It's basically in a realm that exists for us to journey to the final boss zone. But once you reach the final boss zone, that area is no longer accessible, unfortunately. We end up getting our final weapon for Vanille. I don't know why we missed the healer staff. Don't know where it is. I'm not sure why it isn't here. But however, this gives her the ability Power Surge when an ally is KO'd. That basically means their just general magic and attack gets severely boosted when somebody's in KO status. Granted, we never really want any of our characters to be in KO status, so not sure why we'd want that, especially when we can use particular accessories and stuff to get our damage severely near the cap anyway. But we are literally going to be approaching the center of Eden and a dramatic runway walk. But I'm going to pause for this cutscene, chat to you when it's over.
So this is the heart of Cocoon.
It's incredible.
That's where Eden sits, controlling all of the other Cocoon Fal'Cie. It's also where we'll find Orphan, the battery that keeps Eden running.
Good to know. So what's the plan?
Your usual plan. Charge in through the front door, what else?
Right, the front. Hey, where are you going? What is wrong?
Right.
I hope that's our backup.
Well, if it is, I don't think our backup is happy to see us.
Guess we're fighting.
So, yeah, I guess we are fighting Hope. Which side do we want to fight? I have a look to see if there's any treasure chests. There aren't. But, yeah, in that building is basically Orphan. So, now is the time to go and protect it. The cavalry are all here. They're going to try and destroy Orphan, believing it's like orchestrating the demise and misery of Cocoon, which they're not incorrect in believing that.
Time for another approach.
But still, just because they're wrong doesn't mean that like their overall plan isn't a bit of a bother. But we've fought these guys many a time before. Its stats are just really strong damage-wise, but just get haste on, get bar fire on, keep Vanille as a medic to keep yourself topped up, and then eventually, once we have all those different buffs on, we can heal up Hope again. Oh my goodness.
Change of plan.
And now, once again, I'm looking being like, these are basic paradigms that I did not need to hold on to. I should have put more complex or more varied ones in my paradigm deck, but however, all we really need is just a bit of healing and eventually get the Ravengers to ravage away. But story-wise, I hope you guys have been enjoying it. The characters are obviously going against everything, trying to save a world that everyone wants to see in ruin. The Fal'Cie guardians, angels if you like, over humanity, want to destroy humanity in an effort to bring back their god that created both of them. Humanity are now sick of the Fal'Cie's corrupt rule and are going to destroy them, unaware that destroying them will bring about their own destruction. So it's just set in a world that only knows destruction, misery, and conflict, and our characters are doing their best to save something and try and preserve something, even if it's at the cost of their own lives. Because keep in mind, disobey the focus and they become Cieth. Take too long and they become Cieth. Or simply get overwhelmed by all the adversity mounted against them in their attempt to save the world, and they could die. So bleak, I think, is the understatement for the drama and toils of which the Final Fantasy 13 party find themselves struggling against. But even just to see like the battle boxes and like the sky boxes for all these different fights, it's just really pretty. Now, 0 stars because we were on basic baby paradigms. So let's tidy these up a little bit. But our team is looking very good. I mean, we've always kind of used Hope, Vang, and Vanille for what? Hope, Lightning, and Vanille, because they're just flexibility and kind of ability to like have a wide variety of all the different classes. But obviously their three mains themselves are a good contrast with one another. As I say, the only one they were missing originally was Sentinel, and Lightning can learn really good Sentinel abilities to allow her to avoid damage, so you don't even need a healer. More impressive than like a really tanky Snow with Mediguard, you know?
Another squad.
Okay, what are they up to?
See?
All of them? Just like that?
A friendly reminder we're running on borrowed time.
So that was a shock to the system. It seems that all of the SciComm troops were Lassie, and now they've become Ceith. I'm not sure if it's just because I'm not meant to skip those fights, but it does seem a bit weird to have like one side all still human and then all the Ceith in front of us. It kind of doesn't impact it that much. Would have been more interesting if we had have seen the other characters there, but we did pick up a power glove. So 150 extra strength, we will take that for Miss Lightning. What would have been more interesting though is, what if we had have seen, if we turned around, the other soldiers we were fighting, they were also returning to Ceith from behind us. That would have been kind of cool, I think. But yeah, these are the sacrifices, and these guys are weak to magic, but they held you with an absolutely unbelievable amount of status debuffs. So what you want to do is just stagger them very quickly. They're not exactly difficult to stagger, but this Anithemia ability, so many of those things missed, and still Vanille has like 3 or 4 debuffs. They also can cast Death, which you can be absolutely guaranteed their death % chance is the same, but you know it's going to work way more often than you ever get to make it work. So the best thing is to stagger them, get one of them into the air, and then at least you have one thing not able to pelt you with status debuffs and negative status ailments and whatever. They give good EXP, and what's more important is they give amazing drops. They drop Perfume and they drop Scarletite. And Scarletite's obviously there for our transformation catalysts, so they're really useful. And you can grind them very easily in the next chapter. But what I will warn everybody is that the problem with the sacrifices is that you're able to grind them very easily at the start of chapter 13, and while you can still grind them in what I would say is the post game, it's just less easy to loop. But we have another one of the Bulbasaurs, except obviously way more bulky and stat-wise probably way more dangerous. Like here, oh poor Hope, getting volleyball spiked into the ground there. And what's funny is that once the AI sees that you have defenses against him, it can change its typing really quickly. But anyway, we're going to go on the offensive, lighting tanks at like an absolute sentinel. And as you can see, Scarletite was dropped by the sacrifice there. And Perfume sell for 12k, so Really useful moneymakers there. But make sure you fight this one because you want to be able to pick up the treasure chest here. Ethersols, you know, extra TP, never say no to that. We have a cutscene before this boss fight. I'll chat to you when we're properly engaged.
Looks like no one was spared.
He really wants us dead.
So, a bit of a repeat to the skyscraper before. What's a little bit sad is that once we use Libra, we then find out, oh, it's immune to everything again. So Saboteur is literally useless in this fight. Would have been great if we had like Ravager Sen for like Synergist and... Anyway, doesn't matter. The main thing is to keep yourself topped up with HP, so have a medic somewhere on your party. It's really weak to stagger, it just constantly peppers you with an assault, so just make sure you can start the stagger before it goes into aerial defense mode, which is not really what we wanted. Oh, and then it reset the stagger bar. We should have just been slightly more offensive there. Or, at the very least, if we had had Vanille as a synergist, she would have put up like Shelra and Protector, so we could have gone way more aggressive. But yeah, this guy's whole shtick is just constant barrage of damage, so... It's like, yeah, can do devastating attacks, can change its form, and basically we just need to get to a point of stagger before its Mega Beam gets too high. So come on guys, let's start building some chain gauge. Oh, here's me like failing completely at manual inputs. But as you can see, he doesn't do that much damage. So you just need to get him staggered and then just literally power through all of the silliness that he's just peppering you with. And once you're properly buffed, you don't need to go over to a healer, you can just keep the DPS going. Yeah, so I do something else incredibly silly here. I think to myself, oh, I could just dispel all his positives to make him less dangerous, because that haste is really bad. But instead all I managed to do, because as it happens he's immune to dispel, so all I actually end up doing is nerfing all of our lovely stat buffs that we have on. So it's just it's a really bad move here. Oh lord, because yeah, its whole thing is do tons and tons of damage. What I needed was like a renew, and instead I dispel all of our buffs and leave him with all of his bloody stuff still intact. Oh goodness, that was so silly. And now again, he's in the air. So we love that for us.
Thanks.
And once again, it just becomes attack after attack every 2 seconds. But he does have permanent D-Protect on. So he has made himself weaker. If we're able to bring him into stagger, we'll be in very good standing. Just, if you're learning anything, don't dispel. You are fine. Do not let the spell make you think you're doing a clever play. It is immune to even the spell. Now that we're topped up, we can hopefully hop over to a more offensive one. We're building the chain steadily as we go. Nearly there, come on! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on! Come on, lightly go! Oh no. And I thought I could be clever and try and deactivate that moon blaster, but that did not happen. We're just getting blasted constantly. I'm like, oh my god. Oh, stop! Oh, and then attacking does a counter-attack thing. Just stop, 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 stop! Oh, goodness gracious. Again, it's just pure DPS all the time. But with that, boss over, chapter over, and I'll see you at the end of this next cutscene. We get an amazing amount of crystal points, and we'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.
Rush, it's over.
One of my soldiers. I see.
Why are you doing this, Rush? I mean, haven't you done enough?
Enough. Under FF13 orders, I've orchestrated mass murder, all to answer the fears of a panicked populace. For a people utterly dependent on the FF13. It was the only solution I could offer. Even if that solution was a farce.
Then, you knew the FF13 were using us?
I believed their rule was best for Cocoon's present and future prosperity. But it seems I misjudged their benevolence. If this is my punishment, I accept it.
So, you're just gonna let everything go to hell, is that it?
You're right. One thing remains. This is SciComm Director Roche. Attention all SciComm and Guardian Corps units. Suspend L'Cie operations. I repeat, suspend L'Cie operations. All units should focus their efforts on evacuating the civilian population. I do not issue this order as an absolute. You are free to make the choice.
Rush!
Go. You're here to save Cocoon, aren't you? Or was that a farce as well?
Stay alive. We'll see you when it's over.
I'll trust in your humanity. Let's see. The fate of Cocoon is in your hands. This is my end. The end which I have chosen.
Make my wish come true, let darkness